Hey guys, in this video I'll be listing off the bodybuilders who are the best in each muscle group. I've done individual videos on some of these groups in the past, however, I thought that a single video compiling all of them, along with the new groups that I haven't covered yet, would be fun to make. If you want a more in-depth and serious video on each, check out my channel or other channels for a single group-focused list. The groups that I will be focusing on in this video will be the chest, the arms, shoulders, legs, back, and of course the midsection, but I will be excluding individual muscles like the calves, forearms, or things like the serratus or obliques. Now, of course, those muscles will play into the larger groups for the judging, which includes total development, genetic insertions, and separation. Who do you think is the best in each muscle group? Let me know down below, and let's get into this video. The chest is a muscle which should be big, full, strided to a T, and thick as a, I don't even know really. And the man who does it best is, of course, Arnold Schwarzenegger. His chest was so unproportional to the rest of his body, clearly being a genetic strong point, and really was essential to creating that golden era look. Some photos made it, appear unimaginably thick from certain angles, and the condition, development, and thickness for the golden era was purely remarkable, and was very impressive comparing it to any other era for that matter. While more modern competitors like Ronnie Coleman and Big Ramy have tons of size as well, and golden era rivals like Lou Ferrigno and Franco Columbu had similar density and condition, Arnold's overall physique was best suited for showcasing that chest in its totality. He had that crazy separation of the upper, mid, and lower chest that many lack today, and the thickness and size of a Ronnie Coleman to combine it with that, and the insertions of 1 in a million, so in my opinion, I think he has the best chest of all time. Arms are a bit more complicated than chest, since they have the biceps, triceps, and forearms comprising them. With that said, I think the man with the best arms has got to be Phil Heath. I've made a video on this muscle group before, and many of you point to guys like Arnold, Ronnie, Marco Savalainen, or Rolly Winkler. However, these guys often lacked the balance of Phil in the arms from every angle. Phil may not have the most peaked biceps, the freakiest shape in the arms, or the most mass overall. However, the intricate separation, massive forearms that complement the upper arms, and the meaty triceps and biceps are all exceptional. There was never a point in his career where his arms looked bad either, sort of like Arnold in the chest. Easily the best combination of shape, proportion, completeness, and size by really any time standards. Lee Priest can also be mentioned in a similar light, having those incredible genetics in all parts of the arm along with peakier biceps. However, he did lack that deep separation of Phil, which is why I have Phil in the best arms of all time position. Shoulders are up next, and there are two competitors that I feel are interchangeable. First off, we have Phil Heath once again, who brought the round cannonball look along with a 3D pop to the delts. The sheer size of his shoulders really helped him balance his more narrow frame, and they came alive in shots like the rear double or the most muscular. Even in transitions or the side poses where the delts aren't necessarily the focal point, many fans couldn't really help but notice just how impressive they appeared. The other competitor is none other than Kevin Levrone, who brought similar qualities to the stage as Phil, but wasn't necessarily as round in the delts. While he had a more squared, boxy look to his delts in poses like the most muscular, there was no denying that in his prime the total size and the separation were unparalleled. Even here, with the two standing side by side at the 2016 Olympia, you can almost see the similarities between the two, which is very impressive, considering that these two are from two completely different eras of the sport. Although I would probably put Phil for a more complete rounded off look in that top position, Kevin's legendary status and comparable development are right up there as well, and I feel like it kind of comes down to preference. Legs are probably the hardest to judge since the glutes, hamstrings, and quads are all pretty major muscle groups. Calves are important as well, however, I don't really think they are a major factor in judging in this current era. While the list for the best in each category is pretty diverse, the man who I think has the best total leg development, size, and condition, along with the most freaky insertions, is Ronnie Coleman. Not only did he have the work ethic to move some incredibly heavy weight, or lightweight should I say, I guess, which, obviously helped him create some of the largest legs of all time, but he also had the genetic insertions and bone structure to build some gnarly quads, amazing hamstrings, and insanely impressive glutes. He is easily in that third to first place spot for the best quads and hamstrings of all time on their own, and easily wins the glutes since really nobody in history had glutes like him. So when you combine 3 world-class muscle groups into one, you should, kind of get the best legs of all time, right? Sure, a guy like Tom Platz comes to mind as well, however, he was arguably only the best in the quads, and he did have great calves, but didn't have the hamstrings or glutes, or really even the conditioning from behind to match Ronnie. Jay Cutler is another competitor that comes to my mind, having some of the most incredibly detailed quads out of anyone in history, along with comparable size to Ronnie in every area. However, his legs were genetically shorter and weren't as freaky from behind. The last honorable mention, I guess, is Phil, who had amazing glutes, hamstrings, quads, and calves, but wasn't nearly as freaky as Ronnie in any of these areas. The back is an area that has 2 clear-cut winners, the first being Ronnie Coleman once again. Ronnie is a true competitor who can be in contention for winning any of these groups, since he was so genetically blessed, that is apart from in the midsection. The back was clearly one of his strongest attributes though, even from the beginning of his career. In the front lat spread, his lats flared out so wide and were extremely filled out, and from behind every inch of his back was developed and dense, and still had that incredible thin skin detail and separation. In my opinion, I believe that Ronnie is the best ever in the rear double and the rear lat spread, simply because his back was insane and his surrounding muscle groups were as well. The second competitor wasn't nearly as genetically gifted as Ronnie in the legs or the arms, but was quite literally known for his back, being the legend Dorian Yates. Now, Dorian didn't have the best arms or legs like I just said, however, he had some incredible low lat insertions that flared out so wide from behind and were absolutely ridiculous and bulbous from the front. He also had granite-like hardness and a grainy skin texture, which highlighted the details for those who saw him in person. While I think Ronnie was more impressive in the total back poses, the two are nearly even in the back itself. I think that Dorian's back has a hard work look to it, while Ronnie's is more aesthetic, shapely, and clean. Who do you prefer in the back? Let me know down below. I personally think that, Ronnie might be better in the pose, but Dorian's back is a bit better in my opinion. Alright, the last muscle group is the midsection, which easily goes to none other than Hadi Choopan. Look, he's not a Flex Wheeler or a Sean Roden in the shape and V-taper. However, I think he handily beats these two greats in the development, detail, and even the symmetry. He has some of the best, most deeply separated abs of all time, an incredible serratus and obliques that are unmatched by anyone today, and his control of the midsection is also phenomenal, basically never once presenting any distension or protrusion, and his ability to pull a deep, aesthetically pleasing vacuum only adds to his impressive resume. Other guys like Sean Ray, Ahmad Haidar, or Andrew Jacked may have more aesthetic total midsections, especially in poses like the ab and thigh. However, the sheer development, maturity, separation, and control Hadi has is something that you rarely ever see. I feel as though many people are just now realizing how impressive he actually is in this area, and I hope you see what I'm talking about. Anyways, that's about it for this video. Let me know down below who are your top bodybuilders in each of the 6 main muscle groups. And if you enjoyed the video, a like and sub would be awesome. With that all being said, I'll see you on the next one. Thanks for watching.